You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
You are listening to episode 323 of the soulforgepodcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Shawn Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everybody, it's Shawn
and Leah,
and we're back at you with another exciting episode.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I figured we would give the listeners a little bit of a break from love and marriage and travel and weddings and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about yard sales.
Okay.
Or garage sales.
Antique finds.
Boot sales, as the British might call it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Uh-huh. Antiquing.
You know, I find every time I go to a garage sale, nobody will sell me their garage. Right? It's a garage sale.
You know what that is?
Yeah, they're selling the garage.
False advertising.
That's false advertising.
Yes, and speaking of false advertising, we have a quick request to all of you lovely listeners out there in podcast land. If you could share our episode links, or even go to your app that you're listening to this podcast on and give it a quick 5-star review, that would really help us to be discovered. And
it's free.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's definitely free.
Yes, it's free.
And that's what it's all about. So share the love, because we've been doing this, well, I have been doing this for years and years, and I think it's time to get some new listeners.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Yes, yes. Now, is our content very good? It's fantastic. It's spectacular.
Absolutely fantastic.
For an independent podcasting couple as we are, with no budget, we do as best we can.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, before we start talking about yard sales, I did talk to this week a couple of those podcast marketers. Yes. Yeah. They had contacted me. The one guy did, and he said, "Oh, I really like your content." I'm like, "Oh yeah." They're like, we do. How about we get on a call so we could talk about podcast marketing? And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Sounds like a scam." So I Facebooked the guy, I think 2 days ago, and he had his SEO marketer there and all that stuff.
Right.
It's only $2,000 a month.
Only $2,000. What a bargain.
That's for the base package.
Right.
It could go up to $4,800.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what kind of people have a budget for that.
I don't know, especially a podcaster that, just does this on the side type of thing.
That's right. He did suggest, however, that I do more reels, and my Facebook and my YouTube and my Instagram and my TikTok do not all have the same name.
This is true.
So it's confusing to the listeners if they want to follow me on all the different social medias.
That's true.
Yeah, it's probably true, and I could probably fix it up, but if anybody cares, they would find it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your name on TikTok?
That's a good question. Let me
Okay.
let me pull
While
that
Shawn
up.
is doing that, we do have the Soul Forge Podcast Facebook page.
That's true. That's true.
And Instagram.
Okay, on TikTok, it's at Soulforge Podcast, but the nickname is Rusted Robot Toys, which is the name of the Etsy shop.
Yep.
I think on YouTube, it's Rusted Soul, but it's also just under my name, Shawn Vanderloo.
Right.
And what else was the thing?
Instagram.
Oh, what am I on that? Let me pull that up here. I think I'm at Darth Vaderloo over there.
Right.
At Darth Vaderloo.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah, it is.
It is quite confusing. I could understand that. That's a simple fix, though, if you really wanted to, Well,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
So that was their advice.
Oh, good. That's some great advice worth $2,000 right there.
Yeah.
So, people, you're getting it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And I should be on Twitter a lot more.
Yeah? You mean X?
Yes. Whatever they're calling it now.
Should you start a Twitter feud?
I don't have the patience or the energy for any of that garbage.
Right.
So I do have several Twitter accounts for the various podcasts that I've had over the past. Do I tweet? No, not really. You need like a social media secretary to do all that.
Yeah.
I don't have the time.
I don't have the time for that.
Or
No.
the care.
Yeah.
You know,
don't really care.
I'm not going to be taking over the world with my podcasts.
No.
And of course, there's this one here, and then there's the one with the British folks,
Right.
The Epsilon 3, and the Cosmic Pizza Podcast.
Right. Yes. Which we were just on not that long ago. Well, it'll come out.
I think this coming week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the schedule that we have, but
Yeah.
Cosmic Pizza comes out once a month, and we were on there talking about our wedding adventures.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about yard sales.
Yeah. Yard sailing and antique hunting and all the fun stuff.
All of the fun stuff.
So first, before we go into that, tell me, what do you collect?
Oh, geez, what don't I collect?
Okay.
Thinking about it, I've been a collector my entire life. My earliest memory is sitting on my bedroom floor, and the fourth drawer of my dresser had all kinds of things in it, collectibles and stuff. Don't ask me what they were, because that's 40-some years ago now.
Okay.
But I've always been a collector. I think I get it from my dad.
Yeah.
He's got a farm full of stuff. But what do I collect now? Obviously I'm collecting Hot Wheels. I still collect the random Star Trek things.
Okay.
What else?
You've really gotten away from that, though.
I have,
Yeah.
because I find I can only focus on one collection at a time.
Okay.
And I've got totes and totes of Star Trek stuff.
Right.
So I think I'm all topped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to get rid of, you might have a yard sale and get rid of it.
Yes, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
And before we really get into the yard sale topic, just before we do that intensely and majorly, we should play a promo for another podcast right here on
The ESO Network.
Who are you?
I'm Paul.
I'm Shawn.
And I'm Dan. What do you want?
We want to review every episode of the 1990s sci-fi TV series Babylon 5.
It's TV movies.
And its spin-off series, Crusade.
Where are you going?
All the way to the end.
Who do you serve? And who do you trust? We serve the one.
And our listeners.
Who are you?
We are the Epsilon 3.
And wasn't that a great promo?
That was a wonderful promo.
I knew you'd like it.
Yeah, we're going to have to go and listen to some of those episodes.
Again, because we've already listened to all of them already.
Absolutely. That's true.
That's too
Yes.
true. Yeah, so actually we are going to host a yard sale on June 15th if weather permits.
Yep. Otherwise, it'll be June 22nd, I think we said.
I think we did say that.
Yeah, because the following weekend I'll be rather busy.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be assisting my father in moving. He's moving from one little town called Bruce Mines to the Thessalon, other little town, which is just 20 minutes down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. But what are we going to have in our yard sale?
Everything.
Pretty much, eh?
Yeah. Anything that we really want to get rid of. You know, anything that we used to collect that maybe we don't collect anymore, we don't really want anymore. Clothing, probably. We have a couple of friends interested in putting some stuff into our yard sale as well, just so that they can, you know, try to get rid of their stuff as well, make this one a little bit better, a little bit bigger, full of more stuff. I usually have a good, this is not the first yard sale I've had, and I usually do very well in a yard sale. I like to just sell anything that I think I could sell, and if it doesn't go, well, then I probably either donate it or throw it in the trash.
That's true. We went yard selling today, actually.
Yeah.
We weren't going to, and then we did, and then it started to rain.
Yeah.
And we almost came home.
Yeah.
But then when we got to the house, it stopped raining.
Yeah.
So we decided, well, let's go.
Okay.
And then it rained again.
Yeah.
And it was one of those days where it would rain and then not rain every 5 minutes.
Yeah, on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But we did go to a bunch of them. We got a few treasures.
Yeah.
One consistent thing that most yard sales seem to have are Christmas decorations.
Yep, always.
That nobody wants.
Yep.
Old baskets.
Yep.
And lots of mugs and wine glasses.
Yeah. Yep.
Our advice to any aspiring yard sale host, get rid of that crap. Nobody wants it. And make sure tables look like trash. And in fact, most yard sales we go to, we don't buy anything.
Yeah.
Because all that stuff should have just been thrown in the garbage to begin with.
Yep. Absolutely. But we didn't finish our conversation on collectibles. So yes, you collect Hot Wheels, and sometimes you collect Star Trek stuff.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you specifically go looking for when you go to a antique store or a garage sale?
That is a good question. And now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of it specifically, but I always look for things that I could possibly sell on Etsy.
Okay.
I do always look for movies that I might not have.
Okay.
Because I do have a huge collection of movies.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay.
And what do you collect?
So I collect vintage Disney.
You do, don't you?
Yes, I do. Also, I'm always on the lookout for 80s toys.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I especially TV collectibles such as the Smurfs,
Care
Yogi
Bears.
Bear, Care Bears. We scored a couple of Care Bears. We weren't even, I think it was just at the beginning of our relationship, or I'm not even too sure we were
It was
together or
no,
semi-together.
it was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were together at that point.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. And we scored 4 80s Care Bears.
For $5 each?
I think it was, $5 each.
So we split them between the two of us.
Yeah.
You got 2 and I got 2, and we each put them in our Etsy shops.
Yes, and I sold both of mine pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mine did eventually sell,
Yep, the two of them.
but not as fast. Once again, my Etsy shop is Rusted Robot Toys.
Yes.
And yours?
Collect and cast on, because I also do sell some items that I hand make. So I do crochet, knitting, that type of thing. So I hand make these items, and I do sell them as well on my Etsy shop. So
This is true.
but also, with my Etsy shop, I also do have like I said, 80s toys, and any, sort of Disney collectibles that I do see that might interest folks.
Yes.
So my score, what was your big score today?
My big score today, I only bought 2 things. One was a vintage tobacco tin. They kept all the tobacco in.
Yeah.
For 50 cents.
Yep.
It was filled with old sockets.
Yeah.
But for 50 cents, it came with the lid, and I'm like, well, that's cool. You don't see those too often anymore.
Yeah.
The second thing was the DVD set of Buck Rogers and the 25th Century for $5. I've never seen it. I've always wanted to see it. I assume it's going to be super cheesy, and I'll have to watch it one day, or just add it to the pile of DVD things that I never get around to watching because other things come up.
Right.
But you had a couple of major scores.
I did have a couple of major scores today. I think probably the best major score that I scored today was a 1965 sort of carrying case, I guess, for Barbie clothing.
1964.
64. Oh, that's right. 1964. And it was Barbie's sister Skipper.
Yes. It was a blue, it almost looks like a lunchbox, but it's a carrying case.
Yeah.
It wasn't in pristine shape.
No.
But the image on the front was great. The corners were a little bit wonky.
It was well played with.
It was.
Yeah.
But you could tell what it was. It would make a great starter display piece for anybody who's looking to collect that stuff.
Absolutely.
What'd you pay for it?
I paid $2 for it.
$2. And you looked it up online.
Yes.
And somebody was selling one in a little bit better shape for $400.
Yes.
So that's a score for sure.
Absolutely. A great score. The other score I think I really got, which was awesome, was a 1979 Mickey Disco or Disney Disco, something along that lines. It was a vinyl record.
Yes.
It looks like it's in great shape, and it honestly, it seemed like we were at a grandparent's place who, they had the kids over once in a while and they had this record for them, right?
Yes.
So yeah, 1979. And then I also got a VHS diamond black copy of The Fox and the Hound.
Yes, and you paid $1
$1
for it, and you looked it up, and somebody was selling it for $6,900.
Yes, which I think they might be a little out of the, out of the realm of possibilities, but I do believe that it is a limited edition. And of course, again, the carrying case for it was not great. It's that plastic clamshell.
Right.
So it does have some cracks in it and that type of thing. So I definitely would not ask $6,000 for it. But it is definitely a rare copy, a rare find.
Yes.
And you never know. I might hang on to it for a little while. I'm not too sure.
Keep it, throw it in your Etsy shop.
Yeah.
Who knows what?
Who knows what? Mm-hmm.
That's true. Speaking of great finds, this is a few years back, but when I was living in Timmins, I was out yard sailing, and I wasn't going to stop at this place because it was on the corner, but I did. And they happened to have old liquor bottles from the 60s.
Okay.
They were selling them for $1 each. So I picked one up because the same exact brand was used on the original Star Trek show as a Saurian brandy bottle.
Wow.
So I threw it on my Etsy shop and got $90 for it.
Excellent.
So that was a great score.
That's a great score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think is people's reasoning for just wanting to collect things?
Probably because they're trying to fill a deep emotional hole within themselves, so they collect stuff. And then they don't have to think about their own issues.
That's an interesting theory.
I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know either.
That used to be my reason for collecting things, because I got that momentary thrill of adding it to the collection, like a shot of euphoria.
Right. Okay.
Now it's not so much. Now it's just cool because I like collecting because I've always done it.
Right.
And I don't have any emotional needs to fill because I'm perfect now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I agree that it's some sort of void, something may be missing, and so you're trying to fill it with all this collectible stuff. It's okay.
It is okay.
I think as long as you don't go overboard.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I think it just becomes a habit because you've always done it. So it becomes part of who you are.
Yes.
And lately I've been thinking it's time to start getting rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to over the last, since I turned 40, I guess, because you get older and you realize nobody wants your garbage.
That's right.
So you have a yard sale, you try to sell it on eBay or Etsy or Facebook Marketplace or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just keep the essential things.
Absolutely.
But I've spent a lifetime acquiring and spent so much money on it, you just don't want to give it away.
That's right.
So what did I do? I decided to start a Hot Wheel collection last year because, well, I got to collect something.
Collect something.
I've always been a collector. And now I've got too many Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, now what? What was I thinking?
So what we want our listeners to do is tell us what they collect.
soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. What do you collect out there in podcast land?
Or you feel free to just post it on our Soulforge page.
That would be fantastic.
Share it.
If you haven't joined the Facebook page, Soulforge Podcast on Facebook, we would love for you to do such a thing.
Absolutely.
In fact, stop listening right now. Put it on pause. Go join the Facebook page. Leave a 5-star review in the podcatcher that you're listening to this on. And then come back and listen to the rest of what we're going to talk about.
Right. Exactly.
So are you looking forward to hosting a yard sale?
I am. I think so. It's a lot of work. A lot of people will price everything. Some people will just say everything on this table, this price, or everything in this box, this price. And then, of course, you have to worry about whether or not there's a rainy day that day, or how's the weather going to be. So, and then if you do put it in, let's say, your garage, are people going to go through the things that you don't want to sell?
Right.
You know, that has happened before. You know, if you have a garage sale or yard sale and somebody sees something that you're not interested in selling, but they ask about it anyways. Yeah, that has happened a couple of times.
It's true. Yeah. The worst thing about going to a yard sale is when there's no prices anywhere.
Yeah.
Make an offer.
Yeah.
I don't want to make an offer. I want a base price.
Yeah. I want to know how much you want for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I might only want to pay $1.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's one of those things.
So if you are going to host a yard sale, I think the best idea is to make sure that you do have a set price idea of what it is that you're looking for the item, and don't overprice it either.
We went to a few of those today. Like retail prices.
Yes.
Like nobody wants your old junk for what's it going to cost.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go buy it new.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially clothing, shoes. I have a really hard time buying clothing at a yard sale unless it's something that I know somebody is looking for. You know, otherwise I have a really hard time with that. Although I do go to a thrift store, so that's kind of odd. But yeah.
Speaking of thrift stores, we like to go antiquing and thrifting.
Absolutely.
And we watch a couple people on the YouTube who do that too.
Yes.
Such as Froggy Flips.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Froggy Flips or Anthony on YouTube, he goes to yard sales, he goes to toy shows. Yeah. He spends a friggin' fortune.
He does.
But I guess he also has like an antique booth and sells it somewhere else too.
Absolutely. You know, when I look at yard sales, of course, as I said, I am looking for vintage Disney. Sometimes there's something on there that catches my eye, and even though it's Disney, I will pick it up anyways just to kind of put it up on on the Etsy store, or maybe it'll go in the yard sale, or I don't know.
You never know what. You did find a vintage Mickey plush today.
I did.
For $1.
Yep.
So that was good.
Yeah, it came from Disneyland. Yep.
Directly.
Yep. It was a Parks one. So you never really know. You never really know what it is that you're picking up until you pick it up.
No, and we've done a lot of thrift shops and antique stores.
Yes.
And we're always finding Mickeys here and there.
Yes.
And I'm always pointing them out to you. And you don't just buy any Mickey out there.
Nope.
Surprisingly.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
Because you could fill your house with all the Mickey stuff.
Oh, God. Yes, and then some. You know, we enjoy, and I think so does my dad, we really enjoy this series that's out right now. It's called How Disney Built America.
Yes.
And it was interesting because the last show that we watched, I think that was last Sunday, right?
I think so.
Sunday or Monday. We usually get it the day after it comes out because we stream. So when we were watching it, it was talking about that exact thing. It was talking about merch and all the merch that the Walt Disney Company put out. And at first, they simply just signed licenses and let whoever, kind of put Mickey's face on everything.
No quality control.
No quality control at all. And then Walt saw that and he really didn't like that. He wanted the quality. And it was a very interesting story. And anybody who, if you're interested in the history of that type of stuff, please check it out. It is really good. And I found it very enjoyable. But the quality of the merch that was being turned out, Walt did not enjoy. So he decided to take matters into his own hands. And like you said, I don't just pick up anything. I do want to make sure that it's something that I would enjoy having part of my collection, or that I do feel that I'd be able to sell it on the Etsy shop.
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
I am always, of course, on the lookout for Song of the South or Splash Mountain stuff. And I think the appeal for me is that it is considered a banned story. It's considered racist, but I don't see how it is. That's maybe I'm missing something, but maybe I'll have to tune into Song of the South. I do have a copy of it on DVD.
That's true. We got that in Milwaukee.
Yes,
that's where it was. Yes, that's true.
I have to find it. I don't know where I put it.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yes, I don't know where the Thundercats that I picked up at last week's yard sale ended up either.
Yeah, it might be over there in that bag.
That's true.
Yeah.
We gotta
find this stuff.
Yes. And I need to go through my storage locker.
Yep.
And see what kind of things I want to put in the yard sale.
Absolutely.
Because I need to get rid of some stuff.
Yep.
So I can make more room for more Hot Wheels. Apparently.
No.
No.
Oh. That's enough tiny cars.
Is it enough tiny cars?
Yeah.
Can you ever really have enough tiny cars?
Yes.
I have run out of room to display said tiny cars.
Yes, you have.
There is that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so in a couple weeks we're going to do our yard sale.
Yeah.
Actually, in just over 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, should we tell the listeners that we went and saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at the theater?
Sure.
You have never seen any of the Planet of the Apes movies. And I have seen all of the Planet of the Apes movies. And I wanted to go see it in theater. So you came along.
Yep.
And what did you think?
It was not terrible. I can say that.
But
it was interesting.
You didn't really get the story, though. Or did you?
I think I got some of it, and you explained some of it to me prior to us going in and sitting down and whatever. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't terrible from an outsider's perspective. It was okay. It was okay.
Well, that's similar to me watching Bridgerton with you. I'd never seen any of it.
That's right.
And we recently watched the 3rd season.
Of Bridgerton, absolutely. Yes. And, me and I have coworkers that are interested and all of that. So it is something I enjoy. And, so you tolerate that. And same thing with me. I tolerate it because I love you and we're together.
And we share our loves of pop culture with each other.
That's right. That's right.
And we're always looking for the pop culture things when we go yard selling, antiquing, and thrifting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, is there any more advice or stories that we can share with our listeners?
Advice. What other advice would you give for having a yard sale? So make sure everything is priced, or at least you have a good idea.
Make sure it's priced. Make sure it's not priced outrageously.
What about displaying?
Oh, don't just throw it all over the table.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And like piles. Because then you have to dig through stuff, and then that's not good either.
People don't like that. They do like to come and scan sort of what you have,
yes,
and look at it,
make it visually appealing.
Absolutely,
that's definitely true. Yeah, and have tables.
Yeah.
Lots of tables.
Yeah.
As many as you can.
Anything that you can put something on to use it as a table, by all means, do it.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure you have lots of 5s and 10s, loonies and toonies.
Right. Change.
Yeah. I guess our American listeners wouldn't have loonies and toonies, but
Yeah.
quarters and dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody comes with a 20
Yeah.
for a $1 item. So
Of course.
you got to have a lot of change.
Yeah.
So there's that. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think that's basically it.
Make sure that you want to part with said item.
Oh yeah, don't put stuff in the thing that you're not sure you want to sell.
Yeah.
Because that happens a lot too.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I don't want to sell that.
Yeah.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
Yeah. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly. I think the biggest piece of advice that I can give is make sure that you know what you're going to do with the stuff afterwards.
If it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
Are you going to take it to the donation bin?
Yeah.
Are you going to throw it out?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Are you going to leave it at the end of the driveway and write free on it?
Never write free.
Never.
Always write $50 because
Yep.
then somebody will come and take it.
That's right. Because thieves will take it because they think it has value.
Exactly. That's right. But if it's free, they don't want that junk.
That's right. Yeah. Obviously, you did everything you could to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. Mm-hmm. And is it a garage sale or is it a yard sale?
But you're not selling the yard.
And you're not selling the garage.
I know.
So
I like to come up with creative names for my yard sales. Like the last time I called it Crap You May Need.
well, there you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about crap we don't need?
If it's an estate sale, maybe call it Dead People Stuff.
Everybody likes dead people stuff.
Yeah.
Because you never know what you might find.
That's right. I love a good estate sale, actually, because the older generation, I found they kept everything.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know when you might need it.
That's right.
Actually, my dad's going through that right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is trying to figure out what kind of projects he wants to do with the last few years that he has left of health.
Yeah.
And he's got so many things. I think he's a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got so much on the go. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's how that works.
Yeah. Other than that, things are going well within the marriage.
I would think so.
Yes.
Is that how you feel?
I do feel that way.
Well, that's good.
Yep, it's going well. So
Yeah, I have no complaints, actually.
no complaints. No, we're still going strong, doing well.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
For all you doubters out there.
We're doing well.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I'm just talking about my sister-in-law. But she'll never listen to this, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, you never know who listens.
That's true. That's true. Yes. So once again, listeners, make sure you send us emails and join Facebook pages and leave reviews and check out all the social medias.
And thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us.
Yes, we definitely appreciate you coming by and taking a listen. And if you ever have a topic suggestion, we'd love to hear that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
At what email can they send that to?
Once again, that is soulforgepodcast@gmail.com.
Excellent.
So until next time, dear listener, hope you take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, there is a way out of every box, a solution to every puzzle. It's just a matter of finding it. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge Podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.